legends? Well, here's one for you. A long, long time ago, a family of giants came roaming down from the far north. Now, these weren't your ordinary giants. They were sea people, which means they were used to consuming an awful lot of whales and walruses and other big marine mammals. Well, legend has it that on the way down, they simply starved to death. They fell face first on the land, and the earth eventually consumed them. Today, they're known as Mount Pelly. It could happen. Hi, everybody. I'm Angelo. Welcome to this week's Outdoor Journal. Today, we're in a place with a real split personality. Here, the past and the present is constantly struggling for supremacy, and quite honestly, it's pretty hard to tell who's winning. But that's all right, because the locals love it that way. We're at the very top of the North American continent, Cambridge Bay, Victoria Island, Arctic Circle. So where's all the snow, you might ask? Well, it's quite simple. This is summertime in the Arctic. For a few very short weeks each year, Mother Nature's kind enough to roll back the blanket of ice and reveal a beautiful, if not most rugged, landscape. It's called the tundra, and it's home to some of the most unique flora and fauna on the face of the earth. But like I said before, it's very short-lived, which means winter is just around the corner. So let's have a peek. Well, is this what you think of when you think of the Arctic? Cold, windswept, barren? But hiding just below all that snow are countless millions of plants just waiting for the summer sun. And when that sun does shine and the daytime temperatures creep above freezing mark, the tundra turns green with grass and other plants. Believe it or not, there's over 200 different species of flowering plants up here. But it's a tough life for the plants in the Arctic. The soil is downright crummy, thin, acidic, and low in life-giving nitrogen. No wonder most plants are small and hardy. Not a lot of tall palm trees out here. Hardy is definitely the name of the game if you want to survive the Arctic, and this holds true for plants and anything else that tries to call the land of the midnight sun their home. Although the name Eskimo is quite often used when referring to anybody who's a native of the Arctic, it's not very flattering and not very well liked. It was given to them by the Cree Indians and simply means he who eats raw meat. The proper name is Inuit, which means the people. Summer doesn't last long up here, so everything and everybody takes full advantage of the warmth. For the native people of the area, the Inuit, it's party time. There's a blend of the old and new. The clothing may look modern, but the traditions date back hundreds of years. This may look like an ancient monument dedicated to a powerful Inuit god, but it's not. It's an Inukshuk, or loosely translated, stone man that points the way. In other words, it's an Eskimo road sign. Due to the nomadic nature of the Inuit, marking your trails is an essential part of survival here. And this is the perfect way to do it. The terrain being so flat, it stands out for miles. And the other nice thing about it, as you can see, there's never any shortage of rocks, so building it is quite simple. Oh, one word of caution. To the Inuit, knocking down another man's Inukshuk is kind of like horse thieving was to Wyatt Earp. Messy business. One of the strangest things to see up here amid the tundra and Musk Ox are these huge snowballs. These things are part of the dew line, the distant early warning system. Back in the 50s, we were all convinced the Russians were going to attack the true north from the north, and we weren't going to let that happen. So these giant radars and other assorted spy and anti-spy devices were put up here. Luckily, the Russians never came over the hill, and the town of Cambridge Bay lives on. Outside of the fact that the place is definitely lacking trees, Cambridge Bay itself looks like a normal little town with houses like you would find just about anywhere. Lawns and gardens aren't big up here though. Sorta looks like a subdivision before the sod gets laid in. But just a stone's throw away is the vast and almost endless tundra. And it's here I'll come face to face with nature's ambassador of the Ice Age, the Musk Ox, when we return on the Outdoor Journal. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. We're in Cambridge Bay, Nunavut, Canada. My guide, Nicole Babiak, has promised me a look back in time. But we'll need a little modern transportation to get there. Perhaps something in the four-wheel all-terrain vehicle department. Your basic ATV. We're going to leave New Cambridge Bay and travel overland for a short distance to the old Cambridge Bay. Parts of this town date back to the turn of the century. Just like the Old West, the Old North has got its ghost towns, and this is definitely one of them. What do we got here?
This is the old stone church.
Old stone church.
Right.
Obviously not being used anymore.
No, just by small animals.
What's the significance? It's more than the old stone church,
Right.
I'm sure.
It's the last standing monument from the old town site for Cambridge Bay.
So this is where the old town... Was it all around here? Right on this?
It was pretty scattered. There were buildings up farther. There's then this one, and then there were camps, the Hudson's Bay and the RCMP all on this side.
And they rebuilt this church on the other side, or they...
Yes, this is the old Roman Catholic church, and then there's another one on the other side.
I understand, I was reading your brochure, is kind of an interesting story behind the mixture on this thing, on the mortar.
Right. Well, they didn't have cement, so they used whatever resources they had around, which included seal oil, clay, and shale. It was smashed in the winter.
So they actually use seal oil in this thing?
Right, as your cement mixture.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of different.
They've never been able to duplicate it. If you actually take a look over your shoulder here, you'll see the tower. And this was a communication tower put up. And by the time it was completed, it was obsolete.
It was obsolete?
It was obsolete.
Well, where's the replacement for it?
The radar for the planes and the dew line radar, that kind of thing. This was just the radio tower, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but one of the best things about having it still there is that you can see it for miles and miles. So when you're out on the land, whether it be winter or summer, you can always find your way back to Cambridge Bay.
So it's one of those, what do you call those markings?
The Inukshuk?
The Inukshuk.
It's just one huge Inukshuk.
I was just checking. What amazes me about this area is how much there is to see. It's just another short, dusty trip to another one of the bay's connections to the past. Wow. Mm-hmm. What happened here?
This is the boat of the minister that built the stone church.
Oh, okay. So this guy left a few things behind.
Yeah. This was brought in the summer of 1954, and the minister that had purchased it was gone already. So they basically lay it on the beach and left it.
It's been sitting there ever since?
It's been sitting there ever since.
Nobody's burned it or dragged it away? Or?
No, a little bit of damage, mostly just weather worn.
Now, is it protected or anything? Is there...
No, it's left just the way it is.
Wow.
It's been left there for quite a number of years, yeah. He towed it all the way from Tuck. And
what was the purpose for it? Nobody knows?
Nobody knows the purpose. Nobody knows what his intentions for the boat were. It was just brought over and left.
Well, he certainly left his legacy behind, that priest or minister or whatever he was, I guess.
Yeah.
Great. What's next?
Okay, well, it's up to you.
There's another ship around here somewhere, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. There's the old Hudson's Bay ship.
That's the one, yeah. Wouldn't mind catching a quick
okay.
glimpse of that. Doesn't look like this one made out quite as well as the other ship.
Yeah, this one's a lot older too, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this one was built in 1917. It was sunk in 1930 and used as a supply vehicle. It sold to the Hudson's Bay Company in 26, and then in 1930 it was sunk.
Right here?
Yeah, right in the bay. Yeah, people used to come from all over the place to bring in their pelts and so on for trade.
Obviously, it's no longer here. So they would take the pelts and stuff and go out to the ocean, because this right out here is the passage, right?
Right.
The Northwest
Passage.
Yeah,
it connects in over here.
Okay.
Yeah, Northwest Passage is a huge route.
Yeah.
And that's just a part of it, yeah.
And it just goes through right here?
Right.
So this is freshwater, right? This comes in, or is this ocean?
Freshwater comes in, but this is saltwater.
Saltwater.
Yeah,
okay.
The freshwater drains in from 3 rivers, and then it's the salt
Probably
water.
why that didn't fare so well too, huh?
Yeah, well, it's also the other one was on the beach.
Yeah,
so that's just
true,
got the
true.
element, some of the elements,
Yeah,
whereas this
yeah.
one's got the waves and the ice hitting it all the time.
Excellent.
And so, yeah. And actually, if you take a quick look beside you there, that's the windmill.
Okay, what a great day for a windmill.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, that's supplying power, obviously, to the town?
Right, right. I'm not quite sure as to how much. I don't think it's very much. When there were 4 turbines, it produced 3% of Cambridge Bay's power.
Yeah.
But with just one, I'm not sure how it.
So there's only one left?
Right, right. The rest of them were disassembled. They were deemed more expensive than actually hauling
Diesel.
fuel here on a barge and using diesel. And the attitude was the Inuit live off the land, and they wanted to be able to live off the land instead of being dependent.
So that's why
Right, right. Because if we have a power failure, everybody has to leave. There's no heat.
No kidding. I'll tell you, it's a great thing these 4x4s are upgraded.
It would be a rough in a vehicle.
I mean,
Vehicles don't last too long. These last a lot longer.
no kidding.
Just get a trailer on the back and
Yeah.
you haul your stuff.
Now, they're perfectly safe and stuff out there, and they don't frighten the animals off, and they don't do any damage. I would
If you go a little quickly, you will frighten the animals, and they also ask you not to go on the tundra too far, because what happens is you sink, and if you have any dig marks, they last for
forever. And yet, the whole thing is permafrost, so it's only the surface that you're scraping off, right?
Right, right. But it doesn't have enough. There's not enough water or anything to actually balance it back out again, fill it back over. And plus, you got to think these lichens and things are thousands of years old. They've never been disturbed.
Yeah.
And but the other thing is with the dew line is the dew line did leave a lot of stuff. They left vehicles. There's barrels. There's various oils in the soil. They also actually even pushed a plane right off the edge into the ocean over a ways. Yeah, and you can dive and go see the plane.
So you're saying the dew line is starting to clean up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been an agreement made between the United States and Canada to start cleaning up the dew line sites.
Yeah.
Because there's PCPs, there's a lot of metals, there's a lot of garbage sitting, and it's never been picked up, and it's time.
Wow.
It's been 45 years. It's time.
You would never think of that type of pollutant being out here so far out in the wilderness, but I guess it happens everywhere. Yepper, it's another day on the trail with Ange and his trusty mechanical steed. Personally, I don't know how they'd get around up here without them. I mean, in winter you've got dogs and snowmobiles, but in the summer there's places where only a pair of legs or one of these things will do the trick. And unlike a horse, you don't have to keep your ATV in a warm barn for 10 months of the year. Whoa, baby.
Yeah, put the brake on.
Best be putting the brake on. How do you pronounce that?
Overyuk.
All right. You know what the best part is? I don't even know whether you're right or wrong, so you can say anything you want.
Yeah, but Overyuk sounds about.
That's a wonderful sign.
That was just put up last week.
Oh, was it?
It's brand new.
So there was nothing here before?
No.
So really, it's not really, well, no, I understand it's now a park?
Yes, it is. It's a territorial park.
Okay, when did they start that?
It was actually in the works for 3 or 4 years now.
Okay.
To try and get it as a territorial park.
How big an area are they covering, you know?
Actually, I just know for right now that it's Mount Pelion is quite a large surrounding area.
Yeah.
Around the outskirts of it, but it doesn't go too far close to town.
Okay, now this is the story of the giants, right?
Right.
You want to just relay that to me a little bit?
From my understanding of the story.
From your understanding.
Okay.
Legend has it.
Legend
it's
has
a good way to start.
Yes. The Heritage Society has just put out the story officially as for this park. And what it is there were a family of giants that were looking for food, and they headed south. And as they were heading south, they were slowly dying from starvation. And first of all, the mother died, and then the son died, and then this is the father. And you'll notice that they're all pointing south.
Well, what do you mean they're all pointing south?
All the mountains, the way they're shaped, they're all long, thin,
okay.
And they're all pointing south. This is the largest, is the father. There's a middle-sized one in the middle, and that's the son. And then the wife is in the back.
And where are the rest? Are they far from
They are towards this direction. You'll see the one hill right there.
Yeah.
And then further back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're there. Okay.
Oh,
Strange.
There's a herd of musk ox right there. It's another herd.
Oh yeah, there's another herd.
Yeah.
Wow. They're all over the place.
Yeah. We have between 2 and 10 herds just in this little area at any one time.
Do they come in town at all?
They've had one, a small one actually wander into town, and we ended up sending it down south because the mother was dead.
Are there any on top of the mountain?
There may be some along the back. They can climb the mountain.
Okay.
I've actually never watched them climb the mountain. but I've seen them on the tiers up on the top. It always amazes me that those massive animals can get all the way up there.
Can we get a little closer to the mountain? Can we have a
Yeah,
look? Let's have a little...
you bet.
By mountain standards, Mount Pelly isn't big. It's only about 650 feet above sea level. But the surrounding area is so flat that 650 feet is all you need to get a spectacular view. From here, you can see the hundreds of lakes that dot the area. And you know, I think I can actually hear a musk ox calling me. Cambridge Bay is located over 400 miles north of the Arctic Circle on Canada's Victoria Island. Despite its remote location, it's easily accessible by air from Yellowknife or Edmonton. Once a trading post and then a center for military defense, it's now a gateway for tourism. Besides being rich in Arctic history, the area is known for its hunting and fishing. And believe it or not, there's even great bird watching. As for the climate, bring your sweater, winter or summer. When the sun does shine, temperatures creep up into the 60s. But come winter, the average temperature is below -20. And that doesn't include wind chill. In fact, it's so cold in the months of January and February that the snowmobiles won't even run. Coming up, we go face to face with the wild cattle of the Arctic, the Musk Ox. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. That's them.
Yeah. Just over there.
I'm surprised that the bikes didn't spook them that much.
They're pretty used to it.
I'll let you lead away.
Okay, sounds good.
Is this all boggy, like marshy, or?
You shouldn't sink. It's muskeg, but you shouldn't sink too low.
Yeah, it's kind of spongy, isn't it? There they are. There they are, right there. They're on the move, though.
Yeah.
Now, how close can we get to the actual herd?
Well, I'd stay a certain distance away.
Okay.
You can get fairly close, but I wouldn't get too close. Again, these are wild animals, and they're not used to having humans around all the time. Might be able to get to them because there's water surrounding them all the way around. Yeah, it's Grainier Lake.
So this is a point here.
Yeah.
So we go out far enough, we'll be able to get a little better sight of them?
We should be able to corner them in there.
Okay.
Okay,
That's cool.
just try.
All right, so we'll just mosey on, take our time.
Okay.
Now, this is some of the fur here, isn't it?
Yes.
So this is the stuff that they're shedding this time of year, obviously.
Right.
Wow, is that ever nice?
Yeah. They spin that into wool.
I was going to say, it feels like wool.
Yeah.
Is there any value to, as far as an industry for this stuff?
There's not enough. These are protected.
They're protected.
They're protected animals.
Boy, that is one big bull. Wow. Look at the hair on those things. Now, knowing a little bit about animals, I would say that a threat is us right now forcing them onto this peninsula.
Right.
This is something we might want to think about. Because I'm sure they're aware of the fact that they just walked out onto a peninsula, have they
Right,
not?
yeah. But we've got water there, we've got water there. If they go after us, we'll be going for a swim.
Oh, really? So I guess the question is whether you'll be trampled to death by a musk oxen or whether you die of hypothermia in water, right?
That's about it.
Can I have a few minutes just to think about this, which one I want?
You bet, no problem.
Yeah, he's definitely taking a position. You know what? I think they just realized
where they are.
Where they are. Oh, a little bit of an argument from within there. Nicole, let's try a little bit closer. See this big rock here? Let's slowly move up to there. They're lining up behind him. You see that? Now they're starting to form that defensive zone.
Yeah.
They're lining up behind the big guy. There he goes, posturing again.
Yeah.
Basically saying, get away.
Yeah.
Boy, there's a lot of fur there, isn't there?
Look at that one in the back there.
Yeah.
That looks a lot older.
Now they're starting to move now.
Right.
Well, The Russians never crossed over the dew line during the Cold War, but about 90,000 years ago, we were invaded by Musk Ox from Russia. The Bering Strait was dry then, and thousands of these magnificent creatures migrated from Siberia to our Arctic. Once their numbers were in the millions, but now they're down to well under 100,000. Their thick two-layer coat may protect them against the bitter winter cold, but it's no match for modern guns. There was such a demand for their meat and skins in the early part of the century that the government of Canada put a ban on the trading of musk ox hides. However, their numbers have increased over the years, and some limited hunting is now allowed. Is that fine? I haven't seen any panic in them at all.
No.
But they're just slowly moving.
They haven't formed any defensive line or anything. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a sign that we shouldn't push any further.
I think that might be a plan.
Don't push the old luck, huh?
Yeah.
This has been great. That's worth a trip to the Arctic right there, without any question at all.
It's beautiful.
To be able to see that, fabulous. Well, I smell winter in the air.
It'll be here soon. Short, sweet summers.
Let's see, we can just leave them exactly the same way we came in. God, they're beautiful.
Yeah, another 6 weeks and we'll have snow on the ground.
Nice, nice.
Then we'll be looking for caribou.
Beautiful.